Hello and welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really do appreciate it. On day 15, we wake up, we head out of our farm, and the first thing that we see is we have a letter from the Hat Mouse. I wasn't sure about this, but then I remembered the little shack down the south that was kind of looking abandoned. After that, we picked up all of our parsnips and our potatoes that we had planted before. After picking all of our crops, we went ahead and put them in the sell bin so that way we could make some money. And then we checked the mail again. We had a letter from good old Granny Evelyn letting us know that certain crops will die out, so I have to plan ahead. I did miss a few green beans here, so we went ahead and picked those, dumped them off in our chest. After watering our plants, we decided to leave our little farm, and we saw that there were some salmon berries on some of the bushes around town, so we went and we picked some of those. After picking up multiple salmon berries, we went ahead and headed into Pierre's shop right at 9 a.m. as soon as they opened to buy some more seeds. From here, I looked around and was debating what seeds to buy because I wasn't fully sure on all the things that we could do. I was looking at the fertilizer and the speed grow. I decided to just get a bunch of parsnip seeds. I essentially drained our entire bank into parsnip seeds since they are the fastest seeds to grow, and I figured they had a decent profit. After that, we went and explored some more, looking for some more salmon berries and other goodies that we could take home. Shortly after we returned back to the farm, I banked everything. I cleared a little bit to the top left out just so we would have an easier time coming down through that top passage. After that, I went ahead and grabbed all of our parsnip seeds and we started planting all of them. I did have to extend our little plot a little bit so that way we could make sure that we'd be able to fit everything. And that is essentially how I spent the rest of day 15. After watering all of our plants that we just put down, we went ahead and went to sleep to start day 16. We did get level 2 farming, which gave us sprinklers and a few other goodies. Now, I wasn't fully sure about the sprinklers. I was kind of hesitant on it. We did turn a full 1,000 gold on day 15, which is pretty big for us as we haven't turned that much profit at all. So I was pretty excited about that. Day 16, of course, we checked the mail, and this is where we ended up getting a letter from Pierre. After taking absolutely forever to read Pierre's note because my dyslexia decided to kick in, I go ahead and harvest the rest of the green beans that we planted and go ahead and water all of our crops. This takes a good majority of the day, and then we decided to head to town. After heading to town, I didn't really see anything that we needed to do in particular because we do not have enough cash on hand to really buy anything or do a whole lot. We just planted a bunch of crops, and I think it was time for us to kind of just earn a little bit more money. So I went to the docks, and I had a friend tell me that I should use the hoe on these little worm looking things, and they will give me kind of like rewards and stuff like that. So I did that, and I got a lost book and some clay. I spent the rest of the day honestly just fishing here, and it was honestly super relaxing, and I noticed that it would be a good chance to make a lot of money. It was during this catch that I noticed that there was a treasure chest. I have never seen this before, and I wasn't so sure about it, so I didn't know if I could kind of leave the fish out of the box, the little indicating box, long enough to scroll over that, or how that worked. I did figure it out later, and we did end up getting one or two. It was at this point where I did end up getting one of the treasure chests, and it turned out to be a nautilus fossil, which I thought was super cool. I love fossils, and I love kind of studying them. I kind of wanted to be an archaeologist when I was growing up, so it was very cool for me to find this, and it was an artifact, so I knew that we could drop it off with Gunther after our previous conversation about him wanting artifacts. Shortly after leaving the beach, I actually went to see Gunther, and we had this little dialogue where he was talking about specimens and donations for the museum. And of course, I went ahead and donated what I could and what I had on me. It was at this point where the cutscene had ended, and I went ahead and donated our Nautilus shell to the museum. I believe he did see the old book that we had, and he just kind of strolled through it and then gave it back to us. After donating to the museum, we kind of didn't really have anything else, so we went ahead and headed back to the farm. We sold mostly everything in our inventory. We kept the salmon berries. I was using them mostly for energy anyways. We collected 250 gold for our quest and went to bed for the night. We did end up getting level 2 fishing here, which I was pretty excited for, and level 3 foraging, which I was also very much excited for. At the end of the day, we end up racking up a little over 600 gold and starting day 17. Day 17 was a rainy day. I ended up picking up the carpet here, trying to love on the dog, our beautiful dog. So I put it down, I go ahead and give him some love, and I head outside. It was raining, so we didn't need to water the crops, but we did end up getting a letter, a pretty long letter from Robin, where she had apologized for making fun of our cozy little cottage here that was given to us by our grandfather, letting us know that we can expand the house for a kitchen, and then we can use that kitchen to create different recipes that we will be collecting through the TV that I remember. I found out that you can get the recipes through the TV a little bit later on. I was just checking my crops here, and then I decided, let's go ahead and head out and see kind of what we can do, see where we can get, and kind of enjoy the rest of our day. As I was clearing out more of the farm so that way we could expand our area for our plants, because I kind of had an idea of what I wanted to do at this point, and I needed to expand as much area as we could, up, down, and to the sides for the most part. I wound up running into another artifact, the chicken statue. I tried putting it on our porch because I thought it was kind of cute, so I wanted to hold on to it. And then I went back to clearing some more of the trees and rocks out of the way. After clearing a considerable amount more of our farm out of the way, I went to sell some fish and a clam over to Willie so that way we could get over the 2,000 gold mark. At this point, I wanted to go ahead and look at upgrading some of my tools. The big rocks and the big stumps on our farm say that I need upgraded tools to be able to get rid of them, and I figured that the upgraded tools would help us in the long run when it comes to the farms and chopping down trees in general. So I went ahead and got 2,000 gold. I have our copper, and I brought our scythe, our pickaxe, and our axe with us. I wasn't fully sure which one I was going to do, but in the end I ended up deciding on our pickaxe. I wasn't too bothered by fishing quite a lot. It was a lot of fun, it's not too hard, and it is pretty relaxing. I've noticed a considerable amount of money returned from it also, so I thought it was the best bet for us in the current time being. After that, I just went around foraging a little bit more, getting some more salmon berries, and seeing what else I could do. It was at this point that I went into the house. I had to walk past Sirius, our dog, and I went to the TV and I watched the Queen of Sauce rerun, which actually gave us a recipe. This is kind of how I learned about the recipes, through the TV. I went to sleep to end day 17. I think we did pretty good today. We ended up upgrading our pickaxe, and we had some mail waiting for us. Is Willie letting us know that we have a new deluxe fishing pole that we can go ahead and get next time we go to his shop. I picked the cauliflower and the green beans that were ready for me and went to water all of my plants. After watering all of our plants, we went down to the dock and to talk to Willie. We saw that the new fishing rod is $1,800. Unfortunately, we just spent all of our money upgrading the pickaxe, so we do not have what we need to get it currently, but we planned on fishing anyway, so I just kind of sat around here and fished the day away. At the end of the day, once we were fully exhausted, I went and sold everything that we had caught, for the most part, outside of a few things that I had already sold to Willie while I was there. We go ahead and bank our iron ore that we got from one of the chests and head to sleep for the night. Ending day 18, this was also the day that we pulled the biggest amount of profit, sitting at 1,300 gold, getting ready to start day 19. At this point, once I had woken up, I noticed that we had a full farm to harvest, essentially. We had a bunch of parsnips to farm. I was super excited about this, as I had noticed that mostly everything you can do in this game, you get a little bit of XP for, and I was hoping to level up my farming skill as much as possible and as fast as possible at this current moment. After watering the plants that I had left, I went ahead and headed to our best friend Clint's house to pick up our copper pickaxe, as I did see the notification that it was ready. I was pretty excited about this. I wanted to test it out, see how well it really does. Needless to say, I went ahead and headed straight to the mines because I was really raring to go to kind of do something else other than fishing, as I had done it for 2 days straight, and I was curious about this copper pickaxe to see how well it would do. I also needed more copper so that way we could improve the rest of our tools, such as our axe and our watering can. I am curious if the watering can kind of upgrades the distance or the amount of crops that it waters in one go, or if it just holds more water. I was kind of skeptical of this because I wasn't fully sure of how that worked. We ended up making it all the way to floor 19 before I ran into some worms that then turned into the moths or whatever those things might be. So I decided now is the perfect time to head home. It was also getting super late. It was already 11 p.m. and I wasn't sure how late we could stay out without punishment, as it's been so long since I have really done anything on this game. But I remember that there was some kind of punishment for staying out way too late. I just wasn't sure about what time exactly it was, so I went ahead and headed back to the farm. Entering our lovely little house, we went ahead and went to sleep for the night, where I wound up getting level 3 farming. I was super excited for this. I know it's kind of a small thing, but I was super excited to see that all of our effort was paying off, and we ended up making $2,400 from all of the parsnips that we planted. That was pretty big for me. I know that we spent roughly $1,000, so for 24 to be returned was super big for me. As soon as we got to Pierre's, Morris came in and he tried to steal all of the customers from Pierre to JojaMart by offering 50% off coupons. I don't believe I grabbed one or anything, and I kind of at this point decided to stick with Pierre, since Morris is the manager of a JojaMart, which is going to be a massive chain store, and I would rather help the little local store that's right down the street from me. It just sounds a lot more fitting. So after Morris was unbelievably rude to our best friend Pierre here, we went ahead and grabbed as many parsnip seeds as we could. And I mean as many as we could. I believe we walked out in a total with roughly 200 plus seeds, and I was super excited to plant all of these to see how big our harvest would be. After finishing up watering all of these seeds, it was 9 o'clock at night. We started at roughly 10 a.m. Now we did have to till all the land, plant all the seeds, and then water it. So it did take the majority of the day. I went and pet Sirius to give him some love and headed to sleep for the night. We didn't get any levels. Nothing really happened over the night, so we went ahead and headed out today. I saw that the bookseller was in town today, but as I had just spent all my money, I don't have anything. This is also day 21, the end of the week. We did pick the cauliflower. I know I needed one for Jody, so I kind of set off on an adventure after watering all of our plants. Unfortunately, we were not able to find Jody earlier, so I decided to head back to the farm and spend the rest of the day melting down all of our copper into copper bars, so that way we would be fully ready to upgrade the next few items. As soon as I went inside, of course, we loved on beautiful Sirius, and we headed to bed for the night as we had something to think on, and that was level 4 farming. This was massive for me. I was super excited, and now we can do a few other things, and that brings week 3, day 21 to an end. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.